morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the world. I am Paul Sisler, and this is In the Moment. All right. Well, Jack can't be with us today. He's out knocking on doors campaigning. And today it's going to be just me and Nick, and we are going to tear this up. I have a couple short bills that we're going to go over. So without further ado, Nick, hello. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing swell. It's another day to get political and get educated. So I'm excited.
All right. All right. I am looking so forward to this. I got a couple good bills here. Let me get the comments on so those that are watching can throw up their thoughts on who wrote the bill. The first one that we're going to start out with today. Let me add this up here. This bill was introduced to the House. So let me take that brand logo out so we can see the whole bill. There we go. Okay, this bill reauthorizes through FY 2028 and revises the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program. Under the program, the Department of Energy provides grants to local governments, states, and Indian tribes for energy efficiency and conservation projects and programs. This bill expands the allowable uses of grant funds to include the deployment of energy distribution technologies that significantly expand access to alternative fuels. So, who do you think wrote the bill, Nick?
Well, given that this is, sorry about the hammering. Given
No
that
worries.
government funds to take care of something, I'm going to say Democrat. If it was a Republican bill, I would say maybe they would cull regulation for private companies to gain access to this stuff. But it seems like it's government spending on infrastructure. So I'm going to go Democrat.
Democrat? Okay. And do you think it's the co-sponsors, do you think it's partisan or bipartisan?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was bipartisan.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next section of this, the text of the bill. Add to the stage. All right. Share this tab. There we go. Okay. Section 1 of it, purpose. Section 542B1 of Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007, which is under a United States Code, is amended. It's striking a semicolon and striking a semicolon and inserting a semicolon and striking the semicolon inserting. Okay, this is. Let's see. C, diversifies energy supplies, including by facilitating and promoting the use of alternative fuels. Use of funds, Section 5449 of Energy Independence and Security Act. It's to read as follows: deployment of energy distribution technologies that significantly increase energy efficiency or expand access to alternative fuels, including distributed resources, district heating and cooling systems, and infrastructure for delivering alternative fuels. So your thoughts on that? Because that's the important part of it right there is what is it going to go for? And it's distributed resources, heating and cooling systems, and the infrastructure for delivering the fuels.
Well, what does it mean by alternative fuels? Are they considering natural gas an alternative fuel? Because that would totally change the substance of the bill.
Could be. I did not see anything in here that described what alternative fuels are. We would have to actually go to the United States Code. So let's see. Let me do that real quick.
Yeah, too bad we don't have our resident energy lawyer with us.
Okay, so eligible development, efficient, energy efficient, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, formulation of energy efficiency, energy conservation through efforts, energy consumption, population served by eligible entity, development of methods to measure progress in achieving goals, population served by the eligible entity, strategy and goals, implementation of energy efficiency, conducting residential and commercial building energy audits, establishment of financial incentive programs, development and implementation of energy efficiency and conservation programs, design, identifying most effective methods. Let's see. I am not finding solar energy, wind energy, fuel cells, biomass.
Okay. Including.
Yep. So that's where we're at with it then. So that's what they're talking about is solar energy, wind energy, fuel cells, and biomass.
So I've got to say, on the topic of biomass, that has been given green energy status as it's renewable. It's basically burning a bunch of extra brush that they find in the forest. And the Koch brothers are actually spearheading this kind of a green energy movement. They're setting up these green biofuel burners all over the country, which is basically just burning wood and leaves, and capturing that and saying it's renewable because over a 5-10 year span it can grow back. It's something that I would not approve of federal funds subsidizing, and it's something that I don't approve of in general as an energy strategy.
I tend to agree with you on that. So do you think it's Democrat, Republican, or and the co-sponsorship bipartisan or partisan?
I mean, this feels like a uniparty thing, so it could be bipartisan. Definitely. Oh, man, I mean, I want to say Republican, but I don't know. With this whole alternative fuels angle, it could be either.
Okay. All right, let's go to this next section. Maybe this will give you a little more clarity. Competitive grants, section 546C2 of the Energy Independence and Security Act is amended by inserting including projects to expand the use of alternative fuels before the period at the end. Funding, section 548 of the Energy Independence Act is amended and reads as follows. Authorization of appropriations, grants. There is authorized to be appropriated to the secretary to carry out the program $3.5 billion for each fiscal years 2024 through 2028. $3.5 billion. Administrative costs, the secretary may use for administrative expenses of the program not more than 1% of the amounts made available under paragraph 1 in each of fiscal years 2024 through 2028. Before I go to the technical amendments, they really don't. It's just about inserting a semicolon, which it has a little to do with it, but not what we're looking at here for what we're talking about. So with this, the amount, Democrat, Republican.
It seems like a Democrat fat cat spending bill to me. I don't know. I don't know how you can call yourself a conservative and complain about the deficit and then go through with something like this. But again, based off of participating in the show, nothing would surprise me. I really want to go through this one again, maybe with Sarah, just to see her reactions to some of these things. But this amount, $3 billion, that's a huge subsidy. That's huge. That's incredible.
It is.
I mean, what else? What could we fund with that? I know that they were talking about potentially putting Social Security on the chopping block, and with spending like this, I don't get that.
Yeah. So, what are you thinking here? Democrat or Republican then?
Man, I've totally switched. I gotta say, with the alternative fuels angle and the Democrat and the amount of government spending, I gotta go Democrat.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the big reveal on this bill. Like I said, I got two short bills today. Let's take this up. Democrat. Representative Greg Stanton of Arizona District 4. House and Energy Commerce introduced to the House And then let's see here. I need to reduce the size real quick so that I can get down here to the co-sponsors. Then I will just increase that size back up. It is bipartisan. 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans for the co-sponsors. We have Brian Fitzpatrick out of Pennsylvania, Republican, District 1. Mark Vesey, I hope I said that right, Texas, District 33, Democrat. Jefferson Van Drew, Republican, New Jersey, District 2. Michael Lawler, New York, Republican, District 17. Andre Carson, Democrat, Indiana, District 7. And Chantel Brown, Democrat, Ohio, District 11. So it is bipartisan.
Wow. Yeah, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me. Politicians are trying to get that green energy cred right now. And as per usual, they're happy to cut corners to do it. I think this bill is totally cutting corners. It's totally taking the intent of subsidizing renewable and green energies, and it's dedicating it to other things like biomass fuels, which I don't think counts. Again, it's buying. It seems like it's buying favors. It's totally.
Yeah, this is definitely a bill that is trying to appease stockholders and corporations. This is what we're going to do. Again, the name of it is H.R. 1520 to amend the Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007 to reauthorize the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program and for other purposes. Now, when you go into the United States Code, which, again, for those that may not have picked up on that, let me go back to the here. I gotta take it down. Whoops. Let me click on it. Take it down. Go back to the text. And this is the United States Code is where you're going to go to get this act. Okay. And this act that I'm bringing back up again. All right. This is the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Program. Text contains those laws in effect on October 25th, 2023, which means this is when it was last updated. And it's from Title 42, the Public Health and Welfare, Chapter 152, Energy Independence and Security, Subchapter 4, Energy Savings in Government and Public Institutions, and Part C, Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grants. So I encourage you to go in again to Title 42 if you're watching this and read everything about Title 42. Because with that, you're going to get a better understanding of what the angle of this bill is and why this is a bad bill. And again, a Democrat proposed it. I'm an independent leftist. And I'm telling you, this is a corporate bill.
Yeah, totally within the ESG sphere, totally just trying to buy absolvents or purchase forgiveness for their sins for the great church of government.
Right. And this is what people need to look at. This is why we're doing this program. I want people to see that the left and the right are no different from each other. Okay. This is a bipartisan co-sponsored bill. $3.5 billion to make corporations happy. Now, I am pro solar. I am pro wind energy. Okay. I am pro getting away from petro. Okay. But you don't do this with my tax money. This is, again, you don't do this to appease corporate entities. You're supposed to be doing things for the people. And this is what makes me mad about our government. The Democrats and the Republicans are opposite sides of the same coin. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it again, it's leading with the grants to the Indian tribes. I feel like is a common tactic we're seeing to kind of get things through with some good, with a facade of good faith. But really, what I can imagine on the back end of this is a lot more of these biofuel reactors going up to cover the carbon footprint of corporations. And
yeah,
and like I said about these biofuel reactors, they're not green. There's nothing much green about them. In fact, that they're burning green and can somehow retain their green status. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's the opposite of carbon capture.
right.
And it's a facade. And so I would love to subsidize solar and wind energy for anywhere in the country that would benefit from it.
I personally think it should be a utility for everybody. I think every person should have electricity, period. I think if you're going to spend $3.5 billion, put a solar grid on top of my house and give me a windmill. I mean, for that kind of money, you would be able to start putting out this type of infrastructure for everybody out there to ensure that everybody has electricity. An apartment complex, bam, put solar on top of it. Let all the residents have free electricity. And if not free, what they use versus what is being brought in and what they have to take from, there you go. I mean, instead of paying, there's people in the wintertime that get like $2,000 electric bills or gas bills. And they end up getting they can't get their power turned off in some states because they prevent that from happening. But now they go through the winter and here they got a $6,000 bill that they can't pay. And because it's summer, now they can turn off the power. So now they go all summer without power, trying to figure out how they're going to pay this bill. They can't pay it. Their credit goes back. I mean, this system is designed to hurt the poor.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to fix.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I like I said, I'm for these renewable energies, but make it work for the people. Again, if this is some kind of a corporate buy-off, it's not working for us.
Yep, exactly. Okay, I have another bill. So today we're doing two bills. Okay, so let me go to the next bill. All righty. There we go. And then I messed up. Everybody can see what the bill number is now. Don't be cheating, people. Don't be cheating. Don't be going out there and looking up the number. Okay. All right. Play along with us here. All right. Okay. This bill designates the community-based outpatient clinic of the Department of Veterans Affairs in Hinesville, Georgia as the John Gibson, Dan James, William Sapp, and Frankie Smiley VA Clinic.
Okay. I mean, I hope these people deserve credit for a clinic. Clinics are great, right?
Yep. This is a bill to designate an outpatient clinic of the Veterans Affairs. So let's go to the text of it. Let me make sure.
That is a little fishy, isn't it? Why the act of Congress?
Right. Well, let me go to the actual text of the bill. That was just a summary. So here's the text. The Department of Veterans Affairs community-based outpatient clinic in Hinesville, Georgia shall, after the date of the enactment of this act, be known as and designated as the John Gibson, Dan James, William Sapp, and Frankie Smiley VA Clinic. Any reference to such clinic in any law, regulation, map, document, record, or other paper of the United States shall be considered to be a reference to the John Gibson, Dan James, William Sapp, and Frankie Smiley VA Clinic. So, an act of Congress to rename a place.
Is this an award for dutiful service? Is this just a national? I'm hoping this is a national recognition of 4 RNs.
I have no idea. Seriously, I have no idea. I have not looked into this, and there is no other reference to go to another act or another bill or anything like that. It's just simply, let's change the name of this Veterans Clinic from the Department of Veterans Affairs to the Department of Veterans Affairs community-based outpatient clinic in Hinesville, given it an actual name: John Gibson, Dan James, William Sapp, and Frankie Smiley. And no disrespect to any those individuals with those names, for whatever reason it's being named that. I am sure they're probably veterans or something, served our country and probably deserve recognition somewhere. But why are we doing it in this route?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like we've got so many bills that they can barely vote on anyway. Why can't the Superville of Hinesville, Georgia, rename? I guess the VA. But again, this speaks to the inefficiency of the VA system, is that it has to go through Congress, and that some administrator can't grant this authority.
Yeah. Why does this have to be an act of Congress?
That's so crazy. Is there any statistics on where it is? Has it been proposed in the House? Is it?
This was proposed in the House. First of all, Democrat or Republican?
I don't know. Democrat.
Democrat. Okay. Partisan or bipartisan?
Bipartisan. All politicians are probably going to want the shine of this bill to rub off on them. Such a great honor such a great duty is to honor some, 4 people in the line of service to veterans. Everyone wants to get their hands on this kind of a thing, but it's just that it's for show.
Yes. Okay, let's go up to it. It's HR 593. Let me reduce the size of it real quick so I can. All right. Republican, Georgia.
Republican,
Georgia, introduced to the House, and co-sponsors, 8 Republicans and 5 Democrats. Let's see.
Them all piled in.
They're all from Georgia. All the representatives are from Georgia. 8 Republicans and 5 Democrats. Mike Collins, Drew Ferguson, Richard McCormick, Austin Scott, Barry Loudermilk, David Scott, Lucy McBath, Andrew Clyde, Henry Hank Johnson Jr., Rick Allen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nikema Williams, and Sanford Bishop. Wow, they actually got Marjorie Taylor Greene to support something that other people supported. Wow. That right there is an accomplishment. Right,
and she can say that she's been active on the Veteran Affairs Committee. She's been really pushing the ball forward in this arena. I mean, here's the thing. Sorry, is that noise coming through?
Yeah, but that's all right. It's not that loud.
Okay, sorry about that. We're getting some electric work done. So, here's the thing about a bill like this, and I see assembly people do that in the California Assembly, where they propose like a name change for something. It's like a casual day at work thing, I guess. You know, it's an easy thing. They all get to vote and agree on. It's good for morale, I guess. They get to read about the heroism of these four people, and why we got to rename the Veteran Affairs Committee. So it's not like I want to knock all frivolous bills, but it kind of seems like stolen valor. You know, it's like these Congress people are, and look at how many of them: 8 Republicans, 5 Democrats. The energy bill that was passing $3.5 billion, that only had a few people voting on it. But this one, it's like everyone wants to get their hands on it and you know, catch some of the prestige of this kind of passing this kind of a thing. And it's not what it should be about. It should be about honoring these people. It's not about honoring Congress. Congress didn't really have much to do with empowering these people anyway, I'm sure.
Right. And see, this is something that should be left to the state. Okay. There should be a Department of Veteran Affairs that's the head of that state in Georgia that should be able to make that decision without wasting our federal government's taxpayer dollars for this. It's a waste of money. And I brought this bill in for one, comedic purposes, because this isn't the only bill like this. Okay. There's like 6,000 plus bills from this 118th Congress, and there's like 100 of these bills.
I mean, frivolous naming bills.
Yeah, you know, and it's ridiculous that we are wasting taxpayer dollars on stuff like that. You know, it blows me away.
I hear you. I mean, again, I can only speak to it from the politician's perspective, and you know, it's all about courtesy and again, something that they can all agree on. It's good for morale, I guess. It's nice to have a bill that they don't all have to clinch at, but that they can all relax and get along about. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why they can't just do that regularly. I don't know why they have to, again, spend time and taxpayer dollars on all these frivolous bills. It's like, can't you guys just figure out how to go along despite the easy days at work?
Yeah. Now, we've only spent a half an hour. I did 2 real quick bills. So here's what we can do to, you know, kind of show people again what I kind of do when I do this. And let me put this back up here. This is the most recent bill, HR 6066, which means our House of Representatives have written 6,066 bills in this 118th Congress. Now, this is just the House. Okay. So this is just bills. This isn't resolutions or recommitments or anything like that. This is strictly proposed bills. All right. And if you see one that you want to take a look at, let me know. But I'm just going to kind of go through here and name off a couple of them and who's writing these bills. And if you're watching and you see one that catches your eye, throw it in the comments and we will click on it and kind of go through the summary of it. And if it's not too long of a bill and all that, maybe discuss it a little bit. So HR 6066, to prohibit funding to international organizations that provide resources or other support to foreign terrorist organizations and for other purposes. Representative Claudia Tenney out of District 24, New York, Republican. Then we have HR 6065. Lloyd Smucker, Representative, Pennsylvania, District 11, Republican, to establish the American Worker Retirement Plan, improve the financial security of working Americans by facilitating the accumulation of wealth and for other purposes.
That sounds good. The first one sounded like Tulsi Gabbard's bill, the Stop Funding Terrorism Act.
Okay.
I would totally support an audit of our foreign aid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've heard lots of criticisms about USAID and others. And yeah, of course, a solid retirement plan would be great.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right. HR 6064. And by the way, just so everybody knows, all the way up through about 2000, I've read every bill HR 1 to HR 2000. That's how many bills I've read. I haven't gotten through all of these in Congress. So, and again, I do the ascending order versus the descending order, but right now we're in descending order. So this is the route we're going from the latest that's been introduced. Here's a bill from Adam Schiff, Representative, California, District 30, Democrat, to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 and the Social Security Act to provide that an individual engaged in a labor dispute may receive unemployment benefits. Any initial thoughts on that?
You know, that's very wonky. I don't know the ins and outs of that. You know, of course, of course, someone going through a labor dispute, hopefully they can get some sort of funds or cushion. But I don't know what's going on with that law.
Yeah. HR 6062. This one is Republican Amua Amata Coleman Radawagan. I probably brutalized that. I apologize. No co-sponsors. To restore the ability of the people of American Samoa to approve amendments to the territorial constitution based on majority rule in a democratic act of self-determination as authorized pursuant to an act of Congress delegating administration of federal territorial law in the territory to the president and to the Secretary of the Interior under Executive Order 10264 dated June 29, 1951, under which the Constitution of American Samoa was approved and may be amended without requirement for further congressional action, subject to the authority of Congress under the Territorial Clause in Article 4, Section 3, Clause of the United States Constitution. And this is Delaware Republican as at large.
Wow.
So this, wow.
This is fascinating. I have seen, just going through our state bills, which I hope that we may turn to at some point, the state assembly website, and we could do the same exercise. If you're running out of bills, sounds like you've read 2000 already. But so there are districts in California which do business with foreign countries, and so they host a factory or they do some kind of like import legislation, and so I'm just I'm amazed at the foreign policy savvy of this Delaware congressman, and that he's paying attention to the good people of Samoa. Like you said, the act of Congress is slow and wasteful, and we should put to spare use anyway. And yeah, the Roman Empire wasn't able to administer its foreign territories with a representative Senate that had to fall to the dictator or the emperor. So,
right.
The administration of these territories, sure. Like you said, I want somebody in charge of this, a department in charge of this that can make these decisions for these people and get it done. I cringe at the idea that the people of Samoa are waiting on an act of our Congress to get anything done for them.
I know. This representative also did another bill, HR 6061. to amend the Immigration and Nationality Act to waive certain naturalization requirements for United States nationals and for other purposes. And I'm sure this has to do with if you're in a territory, you know, and you want to become a United States citizen because you're already in a territory of the United States, the process to become a United States citizen should be a lot easier. You know, but again, though, I would have to read the bill to make sure if that's exactly what that's about. Or again, here's the thing. When we read these bills, like one of the ones that we did today and all that, they see the congressperson who may not have wrote the bill sees, oh, humanitarian, contributing to the Indian tribes. Okay, yeah, I like it. Let's do it. Yes, I sponsor that. Well, what's the bill about? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's contributing.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't have too much insight into how business is done in the legislature, but I mean, they could be behind these for as face and surface values as like the credibility that it could lend them. That's the thing about the petty politics of Congress, and I just wish that we put them to task more and expected more of an output from them and had more of a structure because again that we crossed that retirement bill. That's something that we need to talk on. We're all talking about Social Security. I'm interested in what this person proposed as far as a retirement plan for Americans. I mean, it could be novel. It could be groundbreaking. It could be popular. I don't know. Or is it just a waste of time? Is it something that they're doing to try and give the authors credibility? Saying, hey, I proposed the Social Security fix, but it never got the attention of Congress. We have to expect those base reasons as well. So,
right. And of course, everybody talks about how the Republicans want to privatize Social Security. Okay. The Republicans want to do this. The Republicans want to do that. They want to privatize everything. This creates the mentality of, we need to eliminate these socialist programs. All right. So are we going to privatize our streets, the repairs to them? Are we going to privatize the police department? So if you want police to come, you have to pay them. So you got somebody in your house and all that. 911, what's your emergency? There's somebody in my house. It's going to cost you $984 for us to send out 2 officers to check this out. Do you still want us to send officers? I can't afford that. There's somebody in my house. I'm sorry, but it's $984. Are you going to commit to that? Yeah, send somebody. I guess I'll have to. You want to privatize everything? Go ahead. But this is what you're looking at. You got potholes in front of your house. Well, how do I get the road fixed? Well, it's going to cost you $27,600 to fix that one pothole because we're going to have to send out 3 construction crews to take a survey of the land, make sure that it's level, and make sure that we can actually fill that pothole. How do you want it filled, concrete or tar? I mean,
I mean, I've been hanging out with a lot of libertarians lately. I mean, the case about streets, maybe there's an argument to fill a little bit of a pothole. It might be easier to just get it done ourselves versus to wait on the government to do it. But yeah, to privatize everything, to privatize retirement plans. I mean, what happens when the next .com boom happens? When a bunch of startup billionaires get greedy and pump their stocks? and it crashes the economy. I mean, I'm not, I don't want my retirement to be dependent on that.
Right.
For my years every day.
Well, and it's like Andrew Yang, who talked about this when he ran for president, the cyber industrial revolution is upon us. And again, love Elon, hate Elon. He's got a robot, Optimus, it's self-learning, that's going to be hitting the market here before 2030. And these robots are going to be sold for like around 20,000 to 30,000. All right. And they're going to be able to do everything, back of the house, front of the house. They're AI trained, self-learning. They're going to be lawyers. They're going to be doctors. They are going to be everything that's out there. And I know a lot of people might think, Paul, that's science fiction. It's science fiction becoming reality. Okay. And the job loss, normally when we have innovation, for every 100 jobs lost, the innovation creates 100 new jobs. In this case, for every 20 jobs lost or every 100 jobs lost, it's only going to create 5 jobs.
Yeah.
So how are people going to survive when this comes about? That's why universal basic income is something that is strongly needed. Universal health care. These different programs, Social Security. I have a universal basic retirement plan, that starts at age 50, and you can keep working if you want. At age 50, you simply receive it, But if we don't start thinking about this, it's going to become a case of the wealthy elitists are going to have robots manufacturing everything they need, and everybody else is going to be left out in the cold.
Yeah, that's a real problem. We really need to address that. This is not the industrial revolution. This is the automation revolution.
Yes.
And it's going to be different. And again, we need to focus on a human-centered economy. I mean, this is something that we've gotten away from a few times. We got away from this in the height of 19th century or 20th century industrial revolution.
Yes.
The 1920s, all the workers' rights protests and the fight for the 8-hour workday, and the scenes from London where it's like 10-year-olds blackened from soot sweeping chimneys. That's dystopian. That's not very human centered, and it took a lot of political will and a lot of fighting to right that ship. And I think that we need to get ahead of that this time. I would like to get ahead of it.
We do. And the bills that I keep reading, again, I'm just going to go through this really quick and all that. I'm just going to read down a bunch. Okay. To prohibit any United States assistance from being made available for programs, projects, activities located in Palestinian-controlled areas of Judea or Samaria, Gaza, and for other purposes. Republican bill. To permit a state to impose a sales tax on qualifying purchases of any gift shop on federal property and for other purposes. Democrat. To reauthorize the Interagency Committee on Women's Business Enterprise and for other purposes. Democrat. To limit the United States from rejoining the Joint Comprehensive Plan on Action. Republican. To direct the Secretary of Defense to submit to the Committee on Armed Services of the Senate and House of Representatives to report on at-home child care programs of the Department of Defense and for other purposes. Democrat. To amend Title 18, United States Code, to provide penalties for communicating threats that target schools. Republican. To ensure that the United States diplomatic workforce at all levels reflects the diverse composition of the United States and for other purposes. What in the hell does that even freaking mean? Democrat. Okay. Again, when you're looking at these bills, hello, Faye. Faye made it. I'm not seeing truly humanitarian bills. I'm seeing corporatized bills. And when I go through these bills, you can almost 90% of the time see how it represents corporations. You're not seeing those true humanitarian bills. And here's the other thing, okay? Democrats that are proposing an actual humanitarian bill, while they are a minority in the House, knowing it's not going to pass, knowing it's not going to make it to the floor for a vote, they can go out and publicly say, here's our bill, here's what we're trying to do, and the Republicans won't even put it on the floor. Okay? So now the Democrats are the good guys on a bill they know isn't even going to get looked at. And the Republicans will do the same thing when they are the minority. Here's a bill that we're proposing that's going to help with this, this, and this, and the Democrats won't even put it on the floor. This is a game that they play. And they propagate it like they're trying to do the right thing when they know it's not going to happen. As in, when the squad tried to get Medicare for all up on the floor, and Nancy Pelosi would not even put it up there for a vote. A Democrat who's supposed to be for the people, for this program, won't even put it on the floor because everybody then would be on record because Democrats at the time had the majority and it would have passed.
Yeah, they gave all kinds of gobbledygook reasons at the time. I was a big Force the Vote fan. I wanted the progressives, the squad, to do to Nancy Pelosi what the
Republicans just did to McCarthy. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And
I talked about that on a few of my other shows. Yes.
And they're like, if we do that, well, there's a chance we might wind up with McCarthy as speaker. At the time, that's what they said. It's like, well, we wound up with McCarthy as speaker anyway, and they just put us in a much worse position than McCarthy as speaker.
Yeah, see, they could have done the same thing. And I, on my Democratic philosophy with Jeremy Baker and all that, and he's very left-leaning Democrat. And when I talk about this, I can see that it kind of eats away a little bit because this is exactly what I wanted the squad to do. Hold back their vote, keep going through the votes until they get it on the floor. And when you get it on the floor, Nancy, then we're going to give you the vote. Then you can become speaker, but you got to put it on the floor because we want it on record who's for it and who's against it. And they didn't do that. And the Republicans, and again, I don't like Gates and Green and Boebert, okay? I don't like them. Sorry, they're whack jobs, all right? But what they did and forcing McCarthy's hand, I like what they did, okay? And they removed him. They counted on the Democrats to help with that. And look, it's a game that's being played. They know how to play it, and they use it to their ability. 20 members got McCarthy removed from the speakership because they knew exactly how it would go. They knew. And now we went through what we just had to go through. Government basically ineffective for what was it, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, and anybody could do that job. There's lots of Congress people. We wasted too much time on it. And Marjorie didn't even get through her Veteran Affairs bill. She didn't get to advance the ball on naming that clinic the whole time,
Right. And that's just it. Our taxpayer dollars are going to an ineffective Congress on the left and on the right. Okay. And this is why we have this show, to show you the bad bills. How many good bills have we had, Nick? One?
Very few. I liked 75% of the energy bill we read today. So it's about as good as it gets.
Exactly. You have to have magic eye skills to see what they are doing. Thanks for keeping your magic eye on them. Thank you, Faye. Thank you. Yes. We got to keep it real. And unfortunately, the majority of the population doesn't do this. They don't read these bills. They don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And this is what I'm bringing forward. I want people to see what our Congress is truly doing. And a lot of these bills that I just kind of skimmed through today, just to let you know, eventually I will get to these bills and I will read them. I will know exactly what each one of these bills say. And I'm going to know if it's a good bill or a bad bill. And I can almost guarantee 90% of them are going to be bad bills, if not more, because they're helping the corporations. They're not helping the people. I want a Congress that helps the people. How about you?
Yeah, yep. That human-centered economy, that human-focused government. I think we really need to push that ball forward.
Yes, yes. All right, Nick, this has been a great show. Faye, thank you for popping on. I love it that you came on and all that. For those that don't know, I am no longer on Twitter. Faye, if you're still in that group chat, I don't know if my Red Herring Effect group chat is still up there and all that. But if it is, I guess if you could take it over and start running it, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm probably not coming back to Twitter. I'm probably not coming back. I'm spending my free time doing more of this. I was spending 12 hours a day on Twitter. So, and now that I'm not on Twitter, I deactivated my account because it got hacked. I just don't really see a reason to come back onto it, other than I miss talking to a lot of good people. With that, I have Faye's phone number, her and I talk. I have your number, we talk, so if you got my number, give me a call. And if you used to see me on Twitter and you want to get a hold of me, you can always contact Nick in the DM, let him know, and he'll get back to me. And if I want to converse, I'll have him give you my number. But outside of that, I'm putting more time into my show. And just so you know, Nick, I know you don't like the opening song to this show. I am working on. I saw
I don't
you.
need it. No, it's. I'm not the guy to ask. I'm not the person to ask. But yeah, there's a lot. This is a great format, and I would love to try this for California Assembly bills, and take this to as far as it can go.
Yes. Oh, definitely. And let's see if we can do that. Maybe we'll connect up maybe like on Sunday or something and all that, and we'll start not only throwing in a short federal bill, we'll also throw in a short state bill, and maybe get more people interested in their state government, So yeah. Any final words on this show today?
No, I had a lot of fun. This was a really great educational exercise, and I would like more people to do this. Hopefully we can get some expert guests on, to help us, wade through these bills. And it's a really great exercise. So thanks.
My pleasure. And thank you for coming on and all that. And just so people know, Jack is out knocking on doors. He's campaigning. So he's quite the busy person and all that. And occasionally you'll notice that I have no one's here and all that. And we've skipped a few shows. And that's because Nick's also someone that works really hard with the Forward Party, and he throws in time and he has appointments and meetings and stuff like that. So it's not always feasible, but as some things slow down, we will become more and more active. And plus, I am probably going to be taking on a job. I'm going to have to go back to work and all that, because otherwise I'm just going to keep eating through my investments and cashing out, and I don't want to do that. So I'm probably going to go back to work. There's a possibility if I get a 9-to-5 job, we might change the time to the show and maybe even the day. But right now, we're still Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Check us out. And again, thank you, Nick. And remember, everyone, be kind, be happy, and may good things come your way.